My fiancé's younger brother was notoriously prudish. Yet after his older brother fled our wedding, he was forced to marry me. That night, John coldly laid down 3 rules. I'm only fulfilling this arranged marriage alliance for my brother. We'll divorce in 3 years. I'm a germaphobe, we sleep separately. Don't call me husband. I won't call you wife. This is all performative. 3 years later, when I presented the divorce papers, he suddenly burst into tears and bolted toward the balcony. We kissed. We slept together. And now you want to walk away? Holy guacamole, I'll jump. Me? Wedding night. John and I stared each other down. Stop glaring and untie me, he finally relented, thrusting his bound wrists forward. I tugged at the knots, suspicious. You're not gonna bolt, right? Today was supposed to be my wedding to his older brother Adam. Our family's business alliance marriage contained 0 romance, all calculated benefits. But Adam, that lovesick fool, chose to abandon his inheritance and elope with his college sweetheart instead. He'd literally climbed out a window and chartered a private jet the night before. I only learned this when I arrived at the wedding venue. Backstage chaos ensued. Everything was prepared. Except my runaway groom. The Wilson family salvaged their reputation by claiming Adam was delayed, then dragged John, freshly returned from studying abroad, to the altar. I didn't object. A business marriage partner is a business marriage partner. The brothers shared similar builds. John looked even more dashing in a tux than that scoundrel Adam. I accepted this upgrade cheerfully. Reality hit John during our reception when he realized his brother wasn't running late. He genuinely abandoned ship. As John tried to edge toward the exit, I whipped off his necktie and hog-tied him. Years of cafeteria food left the study abroad student no match for my 18 years of taekwondo training. My family's reputation can't survive the scandal, I warned, applying pressure to his wrist. Try escaping and I'll break bones. John closed his eyes in defeat. I'll stay. The moment his hands were free, John scrambled backward across the bed like a startled cat, ears flushing pink. My hand froze mid-air near his pectorals. It's our wedding night, sweetheart. Shouldn't we consummate this? John stiffened, suddenly solemn. Sister-in-law, I'm John, not my brother, he said. I stared at him, baffled. I know. I'm not blind. You look way younger than Adam. What did it matter whether it was John or Adam? Both were marriage alliance candidates to maintain family interests. Besides, having a 6'1" hunk with broad shoulders, tapered waist, sculpted pecs, and a model face standing before me, if I didn't take this opportunity, I'd be insulting basic human decency. John's flushed face instantly cooled. He began buttoning his undone dress shirt with stiff fingers, grabbing a spare blanket from beside me. I'm only fulfilling this arranged marriage in Adam's stead. We'll divorce in 3 years. His jaw tightened. I have OCD. We'll sleep separately. Don't call me husband, and I won't call you wife. This is all pretend. He sounded deadly serious. I blinked slowly. His grip on the blanket tightened. Suddenly he bowed at a perfect 90-degree angle. Sister-in-law, my brother acted shamefully. I'll compensate for his failures however you demand. Credit where due, at least this Wilson brother knew proper apology etiquette. I yanked the blanket, swiftly palming his rock-hard pectoral muscle. John froze. Battling eyelashes, I stated with utmost sincerity, I want to sleep with you. The naked, sweaty, mattress-breaking kind of sleep. Hadn't he promised to fulfill any demand? Let's clarify, I continued. You're substituting for Adam's marital duties, right? Then when we're in bed, I want you to call me sister-in-law during activities. Consider that my first compensation request. John's brain visibly short-circuited. His lips parted, pupils dilating as he gaped. Leaning closer, I finally noticed, John's features outshone Adam's by leagues. Porcelain skin, razor-sharp nose bridge, lips pinker than health influencers' morning smoothies. Our families had been alliance partners since our grandfather's generation. The Parkers and Wilsons always kept advantageous matches in-house. I'd grown up alongside both brothers, though John left for boarding school overseas at 16, only returning for holidays. Adam stayed to inherit the family conglomerate, our interactions deepening over time. Objectively speaking, Adam had been textbook perfect. Wealthy, cultured, impeccably mannered. Years of his attentive courtship almost made me believe our arranged marriage could blossom into real affection. Until he ghosted me the night before our wedding. Abandoned his responsibilities, humiliated both families, left this clueless bride standing altar alone. Spineless coward. My rage lasted 3 seconds. Exactly 3. As the Parker heiress, I'd been spoon-fed luxury since birth. Want something? Snap fingers. Need comfort? Unlimited trust funds. When you're drowning in love and privilege, why mourn some rotting man who finally showed his true colors? The moment John appeared as substitute groom, those 3 seconds of anger evaporated. Lost a silver spoon, gained a solid gold trophy. I'd mentally listed every childhood tragedy to avoid grinning during vows. Now our noses almost touched. Looping my arms around John's neck, I pulled him down. We've got all night, I purred. Let's start with kissing. Just as I puckered my lips, his fingers clamped over my mouth, forcibly turning my face aside. Johnny flushed crimson from collar to hairline, trembling like autumn leaves. Sis-in-law, this isn't proper, he stammered. His scandalized reaction only fueled my mischief. What if I insist? I challenged, rising on tiptoes to plant a quick peck at the corner of his lips. Soft. Warm. Sweet as honey. I leaned in for seconds when his eyes rolled back. With a theatrical thud, John collapsed straight back onto the floor. Me? After rushing him to ER, I speed-dialed Mrs. Wilson. Adam's runaway groom act hadn't riled me half as much as discovering potential performance issues. Was the Parker heiress doomed to marital misfortunes? Lucy dear, Mrs. Wilson placated through clattering mahjong tiles. John's perfectly healthy. We meant to tell you he's just particular about physical contact. Since childhood. Washes his hands raw if girls brush against him. Swore to save every first for his future wife. My bad, got distracted by Aunt Maggie's full flush earlier. Aw. The legendary chaste saint. So Johnny was still intact. Now listen, she continued. That boy's your lawfully wedded husband. Premium quality, warranty included. Feel free to test drive. The line died mid-cackle. I stared at the ER doors. Half a kiss landed him here? Actual consummation might make me a widow. John regained consciousness during triage. As I processed Mrs. Wilson's revelations, technically, this blushing virgin was my spouse. Fresh irritation bubbled up. One measly kiss and he plays fainting damsel? Where? He blinked sleepily up at me. Memory sparked mischief. Don't recall? I sighed dramatically. While Adam's away, we got carried tonight. You hit your head during our activities. Gasps rippled through the ward. As John spluttered denials, I silenced him with another kiss. Damn boy kept spouting nonsense anyway. Looking at John, who had fainted yet again, I hoisted him over my shoulder and politely bid the doctor farewell. Gotta admit, thin-skinned men are such fun. While handling paperwork in my office, John suddenly burst through the door clutching his phone, eyes bloodshot like he'd been through the ringer. He still wore last night's outfit from when I'd carried him home, clearly in full crisis mode. Setting down the contract, I leisurely sipped my coffee and eyed the flushed John. What now, honey? John's porcelain complexion turned scarlet at my term of endearment, his eyes rolling back alarmingly. I abandoned my coffee to pinch his philtrum, gritting out, "Are you trying to one-up yourself? You faint when touched, faint when untouched. Are you the god of sleep incarnate?" He managed to stop mid-eye roll, suddenly remembering his mission. Thrusting his phone at me with trembling hands, his voice cracked, "Look at this. I told everyone it was a proxy marriage. How am I supposed to find a real wife now? This is your mess to fix." Squinting at the trending headlines, sensational. Wilson Aaron Parker heiress's passionate wedding night ends in ER. Exclusive, younger Wilson brother hospitalized. Real life, it's not me, it's my brother. Drama unfolds. The accompanying photos made me livid. Those goddamn paparazzi didn't even use filters. I immediately texted my assistant to scrub the articles and mandate that all future unauthorized shots must include beauty retouching. John hovered awkwardly during my flurry of activity. After prolonged silence, he shuffled closer. Thanks. I guess. Raising an eyebrow at his misunderstanding, I flashed a benevolent smile. Don't mention it. I'd never force you. His cheeks flared crimson as he fidgeted with his collar. About last night. You sort of kissed me? The confession dwindled to a whisper. Dragging out the syllable, I leaned back. Want me to take responsibility? You could always assume your brother's position entirely. The virtuous young man looked ready to combust. You're my sister-in-law. That's not how this works. Then kiss me back. I puckered up theatrically. John staggered backward like I'd brandished a snake. That's not what I meant. After agonizing deliberation, he squared his shoulders. We need new ground rules. I'd never encountered someone so morally rigid yet behaviorally absurd. Sister-in-law, he began with painful formality. No woman's ever kissed me before. Perched across from me like a blushing Victorian maiden, he added stiffly, this was an arranged substitution, not a real marriage. No obligations exist. Once the marriage agreement expires, we'll get divorced. But until then, you must keep our relationship confidential. Tell everyone I'm my brother. I frowned. Won't you attend events with me normally? You're way hotter than your brother. Won't people notice immediately? Though the Wilson family had immediately suppressed news of Adam's runaway groom act, and Johnny had been overseas for years, meaning few knew what either Wilson brother looked like, regular public appearances would inevitably raise questions. This charade couldn't last forever. Johnny's cheeks flushed pink. You think I'm hotter than Adam? I nodded. Obviously. You're the first person to ever say that. His fingers nervously tapped the table. Really? That much hotter? Like, significantly hotter? Could you say it again? Only if you want to, of course. Thanks. His lips twitched upward like malfunctioning elevator doors. Propping my chin on my hand, I reached the verdict. Johnny Wilson was a praise junkie. Objectively speaking, you've got better bone structure than Adam. His face turned tomato red. Wait, we were getting sidetracked. I snapped my fingers before his preening. What about industry galas? When old acquaintances ask why you suddenly look different? Johnny straightened with theatrical confidence. We'll say Adam got plastic surgery after a car crash. That's how they always handle it in novels anyway. Besides, I've been abroad for years. Hardly anyone remembers my face. He blinked up at me with golden retriever expectancy. I sighed. Genius solution. But what if you develop feelings for me later? Would you chase me while pretending to be Adam? I tilted my head, watching my reflection gleam in the window, alluring curves, artfully tousled hair. Johnny might play the chivalrous prude, but could he resist prolonged exposure to this? His gaze hardened with monastic resolve. Impossible. You're my sister-in-law. I have principles. We eventually established new ground rules. He'd address me as sister-in-law publicly while I called him hubby in private. Our bizarre compromise somehow worked. Johnny kept sleeping in the guest room without complaint. Guilt over Adam's bridal abandonment seemed to fuel his eagerness to compensate, cooking elaborate meals, handling chores, letting me take over Wilson Holdings since he'd rather perfect beef Wellington recipes than boardroom strategies. After devouring tonight's garlic butter shrimp and braised pork belly, I slumped on the sofa rubbing my food baby. Johnny hovered nearby clutching a spatula, eyes shining with anticipation. Taking pity, I offered genuine praise. The shrimp was perfectly caramelized. Pork belly melted like cloud. And that lotus root soup? Divine. He practically vibrated, whispers shouting yes. Before scurrying back to wash dishes. From the kitchen came off-key humming and the clatter of someone accidentally dropping 3 pans. I smiled despite myself. This fake marriage thing? Could be worse. John let out a satisfied sigh before abruptly rising from the dining table like a hyperactive donkey on steroids, charging into the kitchen to wash dishes. When I finished resting, I went to shower without bothering him. Emerging fresh from the shower, I found John had finished cleaning and started mopping. The physical exertion made him peel off his crisp dress shirt, revealing a tank top that clung to his sweat-dampened muscles. Every tendon flexed visibly as he worked, raw masculine energy permeating the air until I could practically taste it. My throat went dry. Perfectly normal reaction, I told myself any woman would feel this way sharing a roof with a broad-shouldered Adonis. John's cooking already drove me wild. I wondered if other skills of his might be equally delicious. Tugging my nightgown lower, I planted myself directly in his path. John paused mid-mop. "Sis-in-law, could you?" His words died as he looked up, ears flushing crimson. The mop handle creaked under his white-knuckled grip. His Adam's apple bobbed. "I need to say something. Impolite. Dirty talk?" I straightened eagerly. John pointed at my midsection. "You've gained some weight." 3 months of his culinary masterpieces had indeed added 20 pounds. The scale confirmed it as John peered over my shoulder. "Told you. My eyes are precision instruments. 20 pounds exactly." He puffed up like a proud rooster. "If I can fatten humans this well, imagine my future in pig farming." Rage ignited hotter than my earlier arousal. This sanctimonious virgin who'd married me as his brother's substitute, this rule-making prude, he needed to learn the consequences of body shaming. While he blathered, I slid close and yanked him down by the neck. His shocked gasp tasted of mint toothpaste. Finally, blessed silence. John's eyes rolled back in that familiar panic. I pinched his philtrum hard, delivering 2 sharp slaps. "Mention my weight again," I hissed, "and I'll kiss you senseless." Tears welled in his Bambi eyes as he trembled against me. His heaving pectorals brushed against my arm wrapped around his neck, sending tingling sensations through me. Even angry, the handsome bastard looked delectable. Maybe it had been too long since I'd been with a man, my pent-up desires were getting out of hand. The tears glistening in John's eyes triggered physical reactions I couldn't control, my thighs involuntarily pressing together. "Changed my mind. We're renegotiating our deal," I declared before he could protest, pinning Johnny against the couch. "You're technically my husband for 3 years whether you're pretending to be Adam publicly or being yourself privately. That means conjugal obligations, right?" John's face flushed crimson again. But our original agreement said I'd meet your needs except. "Let's start with kissing then." I cut him off, demonstrating by capturing his lips. "See? You didn't faint this time. You're adapting faster than you learned cooking." Mention of his culinary skills transformed the dazed man. Johnny puckered up with sudden confidence, boasting of course. "I'm a quick study. Go ahead, I won't pass out this time." Whoever programmed this human golden retriever deserved awards. Studying his closed eyes, childhood memories surfaced. Johnny had been our chubby-cheeked shadow since toddlerhood, juice box perpetually in hand. While Adam and I raised hell during our rebellious phases, little Johnny obediently did our homework and covered for our teenage mischief. Even during his angsty high school years, he remained the straight-A student who still called me sis-in-law at family gatherings post-college. His lips tasted like orange jello, that perfect plump texture with a hint of sweetness. Things were getting heated when Johnny suddenly gripped my wrist, swollen mouth panting as he averted his eyes. "Sis-in-law, is groping my boxers really necessary for kissing practice?" Following his gaze to my wandering hand, I shrugged. "My bad. Time to escalate this educational experience." Under the guise of studying, I made it a nightly ritual to kiss John for half an hour before bed. John wasn't stupid, just slow on the uptake. Multiple times when our kisses turned sloppy with spit trails, he'd suddenly open his eyes and ask why our fake marriage required lip locking. Trying not to lose my cool, I'd deflect with closed eyes. "Your spicy crab tonight was better than last time. How'd you improve so fast?" Instantly reverting to 0 brain cells, John's eyes lit up with excitement. "Last time I probably overcooked the sauce reduction. This time I timed it perfectly. Let me tell you my process. First clean them thoroughly, coat with starch, heat oil with ginger and scallions." I nodded absently while groping his abs. During these hyper-focused cooking monologues, John remained oblivious to anything short of me reaching into his boxers. The consequence? Every time John's delayed awareness kicked in, I had to praise his culinary skills. After a month, my lips got their workout, pecs got squeezed, abs got thoroughly explored, and my brain now contained an entire cookbook. Worse yet, I stared at the scale's new 10-pound gain in disbelief. Our make-out sessions always followed the same pattern. Halfway through kissing, John would launch into recipe recitals. By the time we finished kissing and talking, midnight hunger struck. 11 p.m. became our official let's test John's new barbecue recipes hour. The man got obsessed with perfecting grilled squid, complete with mandatory soda pairings. No wonder we got along so well. Constant feasting does wonders for relationships. The door burst open as John charged in, lifting me up for 2 quick kisses before announcing, "Lucy, let me explain tonight's garlic shrimp technique. Oh, and wait till you see the giant squid I got for teppanyaki." Staring at his razor-sharp jawline and perfectly defined muscles while my own waistline expanded, irritation flared. I slapped his arm. "Put me down." Pointing at the scale, "Your turn." The traitorous device showed he'd lost 3 pounds. John scratched his head. "Huh? I eat 2 full bowls every meal." As he launched into shrimp prep details, I clamped my hand over his mouth and shoved him out. "No kissing, no recipes, no barbecue. Go to your room. Now." After a month of brutal dieting barely shedding half the gain, I dragged myself to his door at midnight. Hanging onto his neck, I mumbled against his lips, "Quick kisses, recipe ramble, squid skewers. Now." Something felt off, slippery. My eyes flew open to find John shirtless, watching my movements with icy detachment. "Since when do you not wear clothes?" I blurted out, pulse racing. When we first moved in together, he'd emerge from showers buttoned up in collared shirts and slacks. Later, I'd occasionally catch him in tank tops and gym shorts. But this? Bare chest, towel slung low on his hips. Damn. I swallowed hard, impatience simmering. "Aren't you going to?" His hand clamped over my mouth, minty soap scent flooding my senses. "Is this really the first time you're noticing my wardrobe choices?" His monotone baffled me. Truth was, I'd been hyper-focused on crash dieting this past month, juggling work, starvation meals, collapsing into bed each night. Since when had he turned into Calvin Klein's wet dream? Unless... Oh. Heat shot through me. Of course a grown man has needs. My fingers twitched toward his towel. He gripped my shoulders, spinning me 180 degrees toward the hallway. No kissing. No recipe recitals. Definitely no grilled squid. Go to your room. Now. The door slammed, leaving me pimple-faced, hormone-crashed, and thoroughly rejected. The real headache came days later when my love-struck best friend abandoned her freshman-year brother to chase some guy. After nearly letting the kid starve, she dumped him at my doorstep. "Just keep him breathing," she yelled over wind noise, presumably mid-romantic sprint. "Life's an open field, you get it, right?" "Sure," I deadpanned. "You said that about the last 3 guys too." Before I could protest, she hung up. I looked up to find a teenager hovering by the wall, backpack straps taut against broad shoulders, ink black hair brushing lashes that framed liquid dark eyes. "Ryan?" The boy lifted his gaze, lips curving shyly. "Hi Lucy. Been a while." My brain short-circuited. Last time I saw Ryan, he'd been a spiky-haired kid begging me to explode the neighbor's septic tank. Now here stood this sculpted Adonis, until he raised his wrist, revealing a kitty smartwatch blinking with dinosaur game notifications. That's when it truly hit me, he's only 13. They say a growing boy can eat his father out of house and home, and damn if that isn't the truth. Whenever John had the driver deliver meals to me, there'd always be an extra portion. But for Ryan, this gangly teenager going through growth spurts, even 2 servings weren't enough. He gestured a circle bigger than his head with those puppy dog eyes. "Lucy, at home I always eat from a big enamel bowl this size." When he saw my expression shift, his shoulders slumped. That stubborn cowlick on his crown quivered as he mumbled, "Am I eating too much?" "I'm sorry, Lucy. Maybe I should just go home. I can have instant noodles there. They're pretty good too." My blood boiled. How could Emily, that lovesick airhead, have such an angel for a brother? What's one more portion anyway? After watching Ryan lick his plate clean for days, I finally texted John despite our recent Cold War. The breakfasts had evolved from basic sandwiches to dumplings, zhajiangmian, jianbing wraps, you name it. Lunch still came as 5 dishes with soup and fruit, but now artfully plated like Michelin-starred cuisine. Could you prepare one extra portion like before? I typed. His reply came instantly, sure. But when the door opened at lunchtime, there stood John in his peacock-bright shirt and freshly styled hair, clutching thermal containers. His gaze ping-ponged between me and Ryan before settling into full pout mode. You ordered extra. For him? John's voice climbed an octave as he pointed at the empty breakfast containers. You shared the breakfast I made you? He shook the lunch thermos wildly. And my lunches too? What about dinner we eat together at home? I cut in. Don't even start. So you would share if I delivered dinner? He screeched, veering off track. You haven't kissed me once this whole week. Our marriage contract's still valid and you're already, I'm telling your parents. Lucy, you're a heartless player. My chopsticks hovered midair as his tirade continued. Ryan kept chewing obliviously until John finally snapped, slamming both palms on the table. You. Fake innocent over there. Yeah, I'm talking to you, snake. Only then did Ryan look up, wiping chili oil from his mouth. Oh. You're the chef? This is amazing, he beamed, completely missing the hostility. Seriously, best meals ever. The moment Lucy spoke, John took it as a challenge. Johnny already looked ready to roll his eyes again. When his motor mouth finally stopped, I lunged forward to pinch his philtrum while slapping his cheek. He's literally a middle schooler. What's wrong with you? Johnny's eyeballs did a full rotation. Seeing Ryan pull out summer homework from his backpack while wearing a kid's smartwatch suddenly deflated him. After an awkward pause, he forced a laugh. Since when do 13-year-olds look this grown? Haha, my bad. Must have been sleepwalking. Wait, I left soup simmering at home. Gotta go. He vanished before the last syllable faded. Staring at Ryan's worksheets and the lavish meal Johnny had prepared, I fell deep into thought. So his recent cold shoulder wasn't about me ignoring his cooking lectures, it was because I'd skipped our daily pre-dinner kisses? Returning home early that night, I found an empty living room. Clanging noises came from the kitchen. Setting down new cookbooks, I tiptoed toward the commotion. Listen man, I need advice. Johnny's voice rose above sizzling pans. He stood with his back to me, pink Hello Kitty apron strings straining over broad shoulders. My friend, not me, keeps cooking for his wife in name only. They kiss before meals. Foreplay? What? And oh. Actual cooking. FaceTime me, I'll show you. He brandished a spatula like Excalibur, sauce splattering the microwave. See? Regular dinner. A defeated sigh. Fine, I'm the friend. I love cooking for her. Love kissing her. Can't stand her sharing my food. Am I too controlling? His voice dropped to a murmur before suddenly spiking. Love her? Impossible. She's my sister-in-law. Pans crashed as he gestured wildly. Wild after returning from abroad? Lies. Only Lucy's kissed these lips. Only her hands touched these abs. I'm pure. Backing away silently, I slumped on the couch. The new recipes blurred before me. Johnny emerged minutes later, apron now suspiciously tinted without a shirt underneath. Spotting me, he froze. Lucy? You're home early? My gaze lingered on 2 distinct peaks beneath pink polyester. Swallowing hard, I rasped, hungry. His spatula became a propeller. When my fingers twitched toward apron ties, Johnny beamed like a Times Square billboard. Soup's almost done. Dinner in 5. When the meal was finally ready, John stopped chewing on his cheek. He shifted restlessly in his chair as I nervously clutched the new recipe book, my palms damp. I shoved it toward him. Bought you this. Keep telling me about your dinner recipes every night, okay? Maybe we could sneak some kisses too. Or more. John's gaze flickered to my lips before he jerked his head away, ears burning crimson. He nodded faintly, mumbling, I think something's wrong with me. His phone buzzed abruptly, Mrs. Wilson calling. I focused on my food until John suddenly paled. His chair screeched violently against the floor as he shot up. What? You're saying that fossil Adam's coming back? My rice went airborne. Dinner became a tense affair. John kept spacing out, eventually abandoning his half-eaten meal with a distracted just toss the dishes in the toilet to rinse them before stumbling to his bedroom. The mental image of our plates swirling in the bowl killed my appetite. Eavesdropping at his door, I heard him practically shouting, "Contact every media outlet now. Tell them Adam dropped dead. Wait, no, tell them John died. This house isn't big enough for both of us. I'm the only son here. Listen, sister-in-law equals wife material. Wife equals future sister-in-law. It's destiny." He sounded completely unraveled. Overnight, John's emotional intelligence skyrocketed. He'd accidentally place his water glass by my hand, then solemnly declare, "You drank from my cup, you have to take responsibility," when I fell for it. Our usual recipe review kisses now ended with him breathlessly insisting, "You need to take responsibility," between trails of saliva. When I reminded him of his earlier no-strings-attached policy, he crushed my protest with another bruising kiss. "Quit mumbling, I'm busy here." His hands guided mine past his abs, boxers slipping dangerously low. "You can touch these too. But you'll have to take responsibility." The truth stuck in my throat. Mrs. Wilson had called me too. Adam's return wasn't about rekindling our engagement. Not that I'd want it anyway. I peeked at John, currently hiking his waistband lower for easier access. This self-proclaimed only child would riot before allowing it. Adam had vanished without explanation before. This time, his little brother stood ready with metaphorical torches and pitchforks. John Wilson's ears only caught the part about his brother returning, completely missing the reason behind it. "Wife, I think you're touching my demon core." Johnny lifted his flushed face, deliberately thrusting his hips forward. I glanced down at his gray cotton briefs. The old saying held true, big assets form distinct outlines while smaller ones bunch up. His certainly qualified as distinct. I'd observed Johnny's awkward yet determined attempts at seduction these past weeks. After some thought, I decided to tell him the real reason behind his brother's return. "Johnny, your brother," my words died as scalding heat seared my palm. I looked down in shock to find Johnny frantically grinding my hand against himself, desperation coloring his voice. "Wife, stop talking. You can touch here too. Actually, use it. Please use it." By dawn, I'd thoroughly had my way with him. My abdominal muscles ached when I woke. Post-enlightenment Johnny operated on hyperdrive. The floor-length mirror bore 2 glaring handprints and other evidence. Heat rushed to my cheeks as his breathy wife. Sister-in-law. Echoes seemed to reverberate in the air. I dressed hastily, avoiding eye contact with the rumpled bedding. Johnny stood at the breakfast bar wearing nothing but boxers. He tilted his head to display the hickey on his neck, declaring solemnly, "You're responsible for this." "Oh, and this?" He rose, fingers hooking into his waistband. "It's swollen from overuse last night. You need to take responsibility for that too." "I'll take responsibility." Johnny demanded proper recognition, not as Adam's replacement groom, nor as the little brother who fell for his sister-in-law, but as John who'd genuinely fallen for Lucy. We held a new wedding. Our social circle knew he'd originally been the emergency stand-in groom. Outsiders only grasped the key takeaway: both Wilson brothers had married the same woman. At the reception, Johnny cornered me against the champagne tower, murmuring against my ear, "Wife, I've been thinking." His wandering hands froze when I produced 2 positive pregnancy tests from my clutch. The glass tower shattered as Johnny swept everything off the table, laying me atop the linen while frantically calling our doctor. "Cancel all meetings. My wife needs prenatal massages." "No, I'll become a certified masseuse myself." 9 months later, twin cries echoed through the delivery suite. The nurse placed a squalling infant in Johnny's arms. Our son immediately unleashed an impressive stream of urine onto his father's Armani shirt. "Perfect aim." Johnny laughed through tears, kissing my sweaty forehead. Just like his mom's throwing arm that first night. Adam sent a diamond-encrusted baby rattle. His postcard from Argentina read, "The corporate leash fits you better. First love says hi." I sold my Wilson Corp shares that afternoon. The check's many zeros bought Johnny's freedom from boardroom politics. We converted his childhood mansion into an animal shelter, where he now spends days bottle-feeding orphan kittens while explaining to our toddlers, "This is how Daddy learned to care for fragile things." Sometimes when he thinks I'm not looking, I catch him flexing shirtless before the infamous mirror, still displaying those decade-old handprints. "Still checking your demon core, old man?" I tease, tossing a stuffed animal at his behind. He catches it effortlessly, grinning like the reckless boy who once begged me to use him. "Just maintaining what my wife rightfully claimed," he purrs, chasing me into the golden hour glow with our children's laughter ringing through the halls. I married John Wilson through an arranged union, then wed his younger brother Adam. The literary trope of sister-in-law opening the door became my reality. Overnight, rumors spread through high society circles about a new man-eater who supposedly took turns devouring both Wilson brothers with glee. When I saw the news article, I angrily kicked at John, who was diligently plowing the fields atop me. My weakened legs barely made contact. "Look what you've done. You pretended to be your brother, but I'm the one branded as some sex-crazed monster." I hissed through clenched teeth. John's chest rumbled with laughter even as he maintained rhythm. "My bad, wifey." His apology sounded suspiciously cheerful. Any retort I planned died in my throat as he redoubled his efforts. 3 years later, while packing for our move to a larger home, I discovered a crumpled document. The bold black text divorce agreement stared back, a relic from our initial contractual marriage terms. A mischievous impulse took hold. "John?" The golden retriever human hybrid sorting kitchenware looked up, saucepan in hand. "Yes, darling?" I waved the papers. "It's been 3 years." The color drained from his face as he recognized the document. "Divorce? But we're soulmates." The stainless steel bowl clattered to the floor as he charged toward me, eyes glistening. "Lucy, you absolute walnut. You've kissed every inch of me. Slept me inside out. And now you want out? Wasn't this always about the alliance?" I feigned confusion. His anguished howl could have summoned neighborhood dogs. "So my 5-star meals were for nothing? Oh sweet merciful universe, just end me now." In his dramatic flail, John stepped on a rolling pin and launched toward our second-floor balcony. Silver lining, the drop was short. Downside, he actually went through with it. Our moving day transformed into an ER visit. "The universe ignores my prayers for more love," John whined around his leg cast, but leaps to answer suicidal dramatics. The fractured tibia grounded my overzealous husband for 6 weeks, not that I minded the extra cuddle time. I just sat down when a face pressed into my palms. John blinked rapidly like hazard lights flashing. His fluttering lashes made me dizzy. "Close your eyes," I ordered. John whined and looked away, mumbling like a mosquito, "No leaving. Wife can't divorce me. I never planned to. I just found that document and wanted to tease you." "Who knew you'd overreact like that?" I was going to fake cry in your arms, but then I stepped on a rolling pin and... He pouted at his suspended leg before turning puppy dog eyes back to me. "Really, no divorce?" The golden retriever finally relaxed. His peace lasted approximately 3 minutes before John sat up, scanning the room with flushed ears. He whispered conspiratorially, "Wife, since my leg's broken, maybe you could take charge tonight?" No one warned me chivalrous gentlemen turn into horn dogs after losing their innocence. The man who used to faint from kisses now only has X-rated thoughts. Meeting his hopeful gaze, I nodded. "Fine. Tonight you'll play injured patient and I'll be the stoic doctor." I didn't mention it earlier, whether clueless or awakened, I've always adored John. Thank you all for the company, your support fuels my passion for sharing these sweet romance stories. See you next time.